Hello, welcome or welcome back to Millie Does Yarn, and today we've got a super exciting video that I have been wanting to film for ages, which is frog or finish. Now, I have ADHD, which means I'm exceptionally good at starting projects and exceptionally awful at finishing them. I have got WIPS here from possibly 10 years or more ago. I'm not even sure it's fair to call them WIPS at this point. They're not works in progress, they're abandoned projects. But some of them are things I do actually really want to finish. There's a whole load of stuff in here that I don't even remember what it is at this point. There is some stuff that I might just have to rework from the start, but I am fed up of having this massive pile of stuff that is just sitting around, when actually it could be an amazing finished project or just some yarn to use for something else. So without further ado, we are going to dive straight in. We are going to decide whether to finish each project, whether to frog each project, and I'm going to try and track it all in a big Notion page so that I can actually get through finishing this, because just to be real, there is no way any of this is getting finished today. Just to give you some context as to how much stuff there is, like, this isn't all of it. There's still more, and I don't even think everything we're going to go through today is all of my WIPs. Am I ashamed? A little bit, yes. This is crazy. Where do we start? WIP number one is a WIP that actually is a real WIP, a real work in progress. This is a cardigan that I started at the start of this year. It's like an old vintage pattern. I bought it on Etsy, and it's a beautiful cable cropped cardigan. So this is the back, which took me so incredibly long to complete. Oh, it's knitted, by the way, in case that wasn't clear. And honestly, I am just slowly chipping away at this, but that back took me so long. I've got one sleeve completed, which is somewhere in here. Working on the second sleeve, which is just moss stitch? I can't remember. It's like knit one, purl one, and then you do the same on the other row, and then you switch. So this is what the sleeve looks like. So pretty. It just takes so long, and I mean, oops, lost a stitch. The sleeves are the quick part. The cable of the front is kind of what's slowing me down with this project, to be honest with you, just the idea of it. But I do want to get this finished by Christmas. This for sure is a finish. I wanted to mention the yarn actually. So this is Feels Like Butter by Lion Brand, and although it doesn't look that special, it's this super soft material, and if you've got sensitive skin, this is a really good option to look out for. I can't wear anything at all with wool in it, which is actually very sad, but this is an amazing alternative. It's really soft, but it's not fluffy, and it just feels so nice on your skin. And by the way, if you do want to see me finish these, feel free to hit subscribe. I'm planning on doing WIP Wednesday and Frog Friday to actually get through this, because it's not a small task. WIP number two, the dreaded temperature blanket. This is something I started crocheting in 2020 when, like everybody, I was like, oh, I've got loads of free time. This will be a fun thing to do. It was a fun thing to do. Yes. Until about a third of the way through the year. I don't know how far I got. I don't know what colour I was using for what temperature. And honestly, am I even gonna finish this? I think it was made for a double or a king size bed, which is a lovely idea. But I'll be honest, I don't even like the colours. So even if I did finish it, it's not going on my bed anyway. I think the reason I've put off doing anything with this for so long is because I've cut the yarn every time I've changed colour, which made sense. But that means I'm going to have so many scraps in these colours. Ooh, bit of sellotape. I don't really know what I'll do with it all. I guess it's going to make another scrappy project somewhere along the way. So I'm afraid to say this 5-year-old WIP is going to have to be a frog. I did say there was going to be a whole variety of WIPs in here. I cannot tell you for the life of me what this is. My only guess is maybe a pumpkin, but even then, it's not a very good one, let's be honest. That is definitely going to have to be a frog. Let's dive into this bag, because talking of pumpkins, here's WIP number 4. Now, this is a nearly finished pumpkin. The only reason it's a WIP is because I've not done anything with these ends, and it just needs the cinnamon stick in it to make it into a pumpkin. In fact, let me show you one I've already done. So here's a similar one I did at around the same time that I was making this one. For some reason, I felt motivated to finish this one off, and this one I didn't. So this one's an easy finish. It is so funny looking at these WIPs. WIP number 5. What's this? It's just a load of double crochets. hat band maybe, really small scarf, unsure. It's helpfully got a stitch holder so that I can restart this if I want to, but something tells me this is going to be a frog. Next up, we're going to dive into this big bag. So I filled this up when I was moving my yarn storage from upstairs to downstairs, and it's a whole load of random WIPs, so we're just going to dive into it. If you watched my crochet unicorn bag video with me, you might have seen me first discover this. Now, I vaguely remember doing this, and it's a really pretty design, but I don't know of what. I think I was going to make a wall hanging, which is lovely, except for I've no idea what pattern it was or on which wall I planned to hang this. So based on the fact that I don't know what I was doing and the fact that I don't actually have a use for this anyway, I think it's going to be a frog. On the plus side, this is really nice cotton yarn that maybe I can use for something else. So far we've got 4 frogs and 2 finishes. I feel that we're being ruthless here. Okay. Next up is a WIP of many parts. Here's one, here's another. Any guesses? We have unidentifiable body part, a foot, another foot, and what I believe is an arm. This, if I were to piece them together, I mean, maybe you can see the idea, is supposed to be a reindeer. This is a remake of a stuffed reindeer that I have. It's not like a crochet plushie. It's just a sewn together guy. And I wanted to make a crochet version of him. The reason I stopped is because I lost yarn chicken. Although that seems like a decent amount. Maybe I could have finished the head. I was running out of yarn and I just never ordered any more. Now, I bought this 2-3 years ago maybe. And I do actually really want to finish him. I think he's going to look great. Look at his little booties. How cute is that? But I just never got around to it. So I think my little reindeer guy is going to have to be a finish because I want to see him done. WIP number 8, we're staying along the lines of stuffed animals that got started and never finished. Honestly, there's not even a good reason for this one. This is a Christmas tree turtle, as hopefully you can see. And he just needs his head. Well, it goes like that. Actually, is it this side? No. It just needs his head attaching and the Christmas tree decorating. Now, as we're coming up to Christmas, I feel like this is a great WIP to finish. Did I just say octopus? WIP number 9. I fell into the trap of crocheting something for a baby, and that child is now about 4 years older. This was a cardigan, I believe. These are the shoulders, and then they would join at the top, like so. And this, I believe, is a little capped sleeve. Actually, it makes more sense that it would go that way. Why did I stop, you ask? You literally had one more sleeve to do. I don't know, because I'm pretty sure I still have this yarn. But since the child that this was for is no longer this size, and I don't know what the pattern was, I think it's going to have to be a frog. Does anyone else do this, where you just start making something that has a very clear, obvious deadline, i.e. it will not fit the child, and something happens to knock you off course and then you're just done? Let me know in the comments, because it is so frustrating. We are making good progress, but on to item number 10, which is this lovely tube. What is it, you may ask? You're begging to know. Well, so am I. So am I. Hat? Like, probably not really. It's lovely. Love the kind of ice cream vibes. Nice little waffle stitch. Don't know if I was going for a hat and just went really wrong, but that is of no use to anyone. So that is going to be a frog. What should I call it? Ice cream hat? I think it's really interesting. You can see, looking at these WIPs, my journey of like which craft I was doing when. So I actually learned to knit when I was about 5 years old. My grandma taught me, and throughout my childhood the only thing I did was knitting. When I went to university, which was around 10 years ago, is when I first learned to crochet, and I finally managed to teach myself. So a lot of these projects, this is so embarrassing, but a lot of these projects are from around that time, and I just never managed to finish them. I've recently gotten a lot more into knitting, hence the cardigan, and I want to start making more garments, which obviously knitting is a bit easier to do with. Okay, WIP number 10 is this lovely doily, granny, circle type situation. It's really pretty, but I don't know what the plan was. I don't know what the pattern is, and quite frankly, I do not have a use for this circle. So it's gonna have to be a frog. Does it make you so sad to frog stuff like that you just have no idea what the intention was for it. But I guess at the same time, I probably enjoyed making it when I was doing it, so I guess we got to be happy about that. Let's dive back into this bag. In here is a project on tiny needles. I thought I purchased this yarn in Poland, but reading the label, it's made in Italy for a German company. So I could actually be wrong. But onto the WIP, it's a pair of socks with a hair in it on the tiniest double pointed needles. Now look at this beautiful heel. I've done it ever so neatly. Lovely. But pattern, no idea. Second thing is, this is 55% merino wool. I can't even wear that anyway. So these must have been for a gift. Also, looking at the label, this was definitely purchased in Austria, not Poland. This receipt is from January 2024. So I clearly started this project in January 2024 and have not touched it since January 2024. Sadly, this one's got to be a frog. Okay, we've got 8 frogs and 4 finishes. This is eye-opening, and to be honest, it's making me feel like I need to be more intentional about starting projects that I actually want to finish. I honestly think what's happened here is I just get so excited. I'm like, oh, I can make this thing. And then I get excited again and again and again. And it's not that I'm no longer excited about the other thing. I've genuinely just forgotten about it. Like, some of these projects I forgot even existed. And actually, if I just kept working on them, a lot of them, there's not a lot more to be done before it's done. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this, because I know so many people have the same kind of feelings, and by the amount of frog or finish videos that are out there, it's clearly not just me that has this problem. All right, WIP number 13 is this nice cotton circle. Other than being neat, I can only guess it was going to be a coaster, but I think that has to be a frog. Next up, we have a yellow square. Was this going to be a blanket? Was this going to be like a lovey type thing? Maybe. Is it any more? Nope. Frog. Now, this one is actually baffling to me because I have no recollection of doing this. It looks like, I would guess, a cardigan of some sort. It's got armholes. It looks like it would fit me, I would guess. It looks like it would be adult sized, but I don't think I want a grey cardigan. Clearly there was a time in my life when I did, but I think this one has to be a frog. Carrying on with the yellow theme, I think maybe I just had too much of this yellow yarn. This looks like, I can only guess, it was going to be a snowflake or similar. But I think this is going to be better if I just frog it. And if I ever feel the urge to do a snowflake again, I can restart. I mean, in fact, this doesn't even need to go on a list. We could just do this now. Let's just frog this now. I genuinely think frog or finish is going to take me quite a while. I mean, some of these projects are quite a quick finish, like the cinnamon stick and the pumpkin. Well, actually, looking at my finish pile, there's only like 4 things in it, so maybe not. There we go. It's the frogging that's going to take a while, and more so rewinding everything, especially the scraps. But the plus side of this is I basically get a free yarn delivery that I wasn't expecting, and it's stuff that I already clearly liked because I wouldn't have bought it before. Frogged. Oh, not another one. We've got another of these semi-finished, it must have been a hat, with the waffle stitch and then the double crochet. But again, it wasn't finished. And this, I mean, this yarn is so soft. It's so lovely. But why did I just not finish the first one? Why did I feel inclined to make a second one? Why do we do this to ourselves? This is a frog. I'm not going to finish it. Going back to the pumpkins, clearly I was even more motivated to do some more. This one is, oh, they're both crocheted actually. This one I kind of like. It's got this like plait stitch. And this one I think is actually a very good pumpkin shape, which I quite like. Both of those are an easy finish. This one has the end sewn in already. It literally just needs cinnamon stick. Done. This one, I mean, it will take all of 5 minutes, won't it? So those two can be a finish. I've actually just remembered why I think I didn't finish those at the time. I went on a trip to Poland and I was there for 3 months, and I took just a random selection of wool so that I had stuff to do while I was there, but I don't think I took the cinnamon sticks. And that is why they don't have them. However, it's not a good excuse because that trip was over a year ago, so I did have a chance to fix it since then. this little guy. Now, you can clearly see why this isn't finished. This was just a very cute Christmas tree, but apparently I just gave up in weaving in the ends of the little snowy bits, and I think it does need some decoration. But I like this. It's basically done, so he can be a finish. I don't know whether you think I'm crazy yet, by the way, for the amount of WIPs we're on, but like, we're on about 20 so far, and there's probably another good 20 left. This is really bad, isn't it? Next up, this is a project that honestly was always just doomed for failure. I took this on the plane somewhere, I don't remember where, because I wanted something to be able to crochet on the plane. And it's a sock. Now, I don't think I was ever gonna wear something, especially a sock, that is crocheted with double crochet yarn and a 4mm hook. Kind of a nice little mitten, I guess. And actually, it does look quite good. I'm quite impressed. But what's this? A slipper? It's not something I would ever have worn, and I honestly think I just wanted to keep my hands busy while I was flying. So this one is going to be a frog. By the way, do you like my nails? Covered in scraps. Oh, that's not scraps. That's just still attached. This is a blanket, or I assume it was going to be a blanket. Lovely waffle stitch. I actually really enjoy crocheting waffle stitch. The thing with this, I don't have a need for another blanket. I don't know anybody who has a need for another blanket. I just really like making blankets, and I honestly think that's where this came from. If anyone has any suggestions of what I can do with blankets, because I don't want to sell them, I don't want to make a business out of selling stuff, because that's not why I crochet, I just do it because I enjoy it. And it feels so nice, but I just don't need it, and I don't know anybody who would need it either, so for me it's going to have to be a frog. While I'm at it, I'm going to sort of wind this back up, I think. I feel like a lot of this has been very crochet heavy. I'm certain there are going to be some knit ones in here as well. I feel like I'm letting the knitting side down here a little bit. But on that note, I did actually recently finish a knit cardigan and a knit jumper, so I guess that's why they're not in here, is because they're not WIPs, they're pips. Works in progress, works in finished. What do you call it? A finished item? Finished, I don't know. Anyway, this is a frog. On the subject of blankets, we had the yellow square earlier. We have the mint green square. Again, this is gonna be a frog because I have no need for a little square. I also seem to have an abundance of this kind of mint green yarn. I have no idea where that came from. Okay, we're on 23 items so far. 23 WIPs. 16 are in the frog pile. 7 are in the finish pile so far. We're going to keep going up to 30 items, and then I think that is maybe a point to stop on part 1 of this video, because otherwise this is going to be like a 3-hour frog or finish. Let's carry on and let's see what this ball of yarn is attached to. Hey, oh my life. So it's kind of cute actually. We've got a brown, and then you've got like this plait stitch. I don't know what it's called. It's like puff stitches that make it look like a plait. I don't know if I was trying to make it not flat though, or flat, because in my eyes this would be quite a cute coaster, like a wreath situation. But clearly it's more like a little bowl. Not very useful. Like the idea, and actually I've got a coaster somewhere in here which is to be finished that is similar, but this one's going to be a frog. WIP number 18. I mean, this is how it's presented to me. Okay, so basically it's just 2 rows of bobble stitches, which is a lovely idea, except for absolutely what purpose? That is a frog. I think sometimes I just do stuff like that because I want to try out a stitch, which is cool. Why did I not undo it at the time? Why did I keep that? Why did I possibly think I might want that? Okay, WIP number 26 is actually a little guy I'm really quite proud of. This is a dragon. He's got, wait, it could be a dinosaur with wings. It's a dragon or a dinosaur. He's got a little tail and a little ruffly bit all the way down his head, which I think is very cute. He does sit, but he's missing some facial features, which is why he is at this point not finished. I also think the wings are quite floppy. I don't know if I could maybe redo them in a way that would make more sense. I don't know. But really, he just needs a face. So he is definitely a finish because he's so close to being done. I do need to find out if he's a dragon or a dinosaur though. Okay, the next WIP is a finished item, but it's not very useful on its own. We have the Curse of the Lemon Yarn, a single crochet mitten. Now, as mittens go, it's functional, it fits well, it does its job, but we're missing the other one, which is why I assume it's a WIP. Now, I could finish this, but honestly, I don't love it. I actually think it was a gift for my grandma about 5 years ago. I think we're sort of past the point of finishing this, and I might just start on a new gift. So just to go with all the other yellow yarn we have, this is going to be a frog, and I think we just need to make a better gift. All right, 3 more until we hit 30. Let's see what we've got. This one is kind of interesting because actually it was really fun when I was making it. So this was supposed to be a pumpkin spice latte, and just bear with me, you'll get the vision. So this was the pot. It was just supposed to be like an autumnal cute little situation. And then this is the whipped cream. Now, let me tell you, I spent so long trying to figure out how to make something that would look like whipped cream. And in the end, if you look closely, I think it's basically 4 lots or maybe 6 of double crochets that kind of split, and then you twirl it round like this. And what you do is you like squiggle it around like this. There you go. That kind of looks more like it, and looks like a pile of whipped cream. And then the plan was to sort of, well, you get the vision. Unfortunately, I just don't think it ever quite ended up how I wanted it, and we never did end up with that pumpkin spice latte. As much as I would love to finish this, I think, one, it would look better in chenille yarn. I think this might have been another Poland project where I only had a certain amount of yarn. And secondly, it's just so long since I did this, I'm not really feeling the project anymore. I think I'd rather just frog it and start again. Never thought me, the coffee lover, would be saying goodbye to that. 2 more WIPs. Now, I actually think this is part of the reindeer we looked at earlier. I'm going to put it in the keep pile because in case it was actually a useful one. So, I don't recall making this, but it's a lovely, really quite sturdy basket. I did actually recently make a basket, which is what all the WIPs are living in. But my problem with this one is really floppy. So, I might have to do something about that at some point. But anyway, beside the point. I don't need a basket. What for? Woo! I mean, it's kind of cute, but I just don't know what I would do with it. I think it would be better to be a frog, and maybe sometime later down the line, I'll make another basket. But right now, it's a frog. It is time for the final WIP. Now, this one actually is part of a collection of coasters that I've been making. Now, if you watched my last video where I created this Santa Claus coaster, where I was comparing it against an AI-generated version, this little guy, I was then inspired to make some other coasters. So here's the wreath one that I made. Very cute. Literally just needs the ends tying in. So that's something I can do super quickly. And then I'm in the process of making a little snowman. So he's cute. He's got his scarf. These are his earmuffs, which I just need to sew on. And then he needs a face as well. This is a finish. I need to, what I need to do, I'm going to count this as one because that's just sewing the ends in. But it's really not a lot to do, and I just need to do 1 more to then complete the set. And we've got a set of 4. So that is my final finish. The pile, the frog pile. I'm terrified of this, I will not lie. Okay, so I think we can get a bit of frogging done now. We've got 21 items on the frog list, one of which I already did because it was a super quick one. And I think we can get some more of the quick ones done now, because otherwise, if I do one a week, this is going to take until the middle of next year at this point. Let's do some of it now together so that I could just try and get it done. And then we'll finish the rest of it in Frog Friday over the next few weeks. 21 frogs, 9 finishes. Let me know in the comments, is this ridiculous or is this reasonable? Have you ever had this many WIPs on the go? Or is this just my years of ADHD piling up? I'm kind of proud of myself for getting it done. I think going forwards, I want to get down this list of finishes because they're all just silly little things of bits and bobs to do. And going forwards, I'd really like to have maybe max of 5 WIPs going on. And I think it's okay to have multiple projects as long as you are actually whipping them, not like abandoning them. Like, for example, I like to have an easy knit going on, something I can do like in the car that doesn't require me to pay real attention to it. I also like to have an intricate knit, so something maybe with cable or like a sock where you've got to pay a bit more attention to it. And then I like to just crochet like random little projects like those coasters and stuff here and there, but obviously I'm not so good at finishing them up. So I think it is okay to have a few different things going on, but I kind of feel like I've been a bit wasteful here. Luckily, I will frog all of this and it will go to use. I guess the flip side of that is I enjoyed doing it at the time, and even though these items haven't necessarily come to fruition, at least I had fun doing my craft. So just to show you, we still have the WIPS in this bag, and I have a box under the bed upstairs as well, but we'll save those for part 2. Maybe that'll be the next video. But right now we are going to frog some of these frog projects, see how much we can get caked up, and organize those into my stash. Don't do crochet, kids. I just wanted you to kind of see how ridiculous this is, but this is all of the frogs from today's video. I'm just going to perch myself right here. We have the good old trusty yarn winder. Let's see how much of this pile of WIPS we can get through without it being too crazy. I'm not going to do the complicated ones with loads of colours and stuff right now, but let's just see how much we can get through in the next 25 minutes or so before I need to start work. The problem is it's also tangled. Throne of yarn is what we're doing at this point. Really just demonstrates how much yarn crochet takes up. Like, I wonder actually with knitting, you generally do like 4 times the amount. If you want to knit 10 centimeters, let's say, you do 40 centimeters. I wonder what the equivalents are for crochet stitches. I'd be super interested to know. Ah, the tangle. The ramen noodle strikes again. Is it not? Or is it the type where I pull it and it... Either I pull it and it disappears, or I pull it and it makes the tightest knot in the entire world. I feel inclined to say it's the second type. Frogged. Okay, I'm just realising this is a very hard activity to film. I can't figure out where the right angle is. I feel like now is a good time to move the candle. Woo! A mini cake. Right, I think I have to finish this video here because I have to do some work today. We've gotten about halfway through this square, so there we are. Thank you so much for joining me for Frog or Finish. Please subscribe if you want to see me frog and finish the rest of these projects. We're going to do that on Wednesdays and Fridays, and do stick around for part 2 as well, and embarrassingly possibly a part 3 where we will try and get through the rest of my WIPS and get back on a better track with what we are knitting and crocheting. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.